What's up, guys? Josh here, or also known as AD. I'm going to be showing you guys a few variations of the circus card trick, some of my theories about it, and some of the handlings that you can do and presentations you can do. It can be used as a Heckler buster. It can be used as a gotcha trick. It can be used as a way to win a bet. All those are fine. I personally would only use it as like a Heckler buster because it's not the most powerful magic ever. But I guess if I wanted to win a free drink or something, I might do it too. But I'm going to show you my theory about it. And in my opinion, I would use a peak. So, because I want to keep the moves as minimal as possible. One move, that's it. Trick is done. Now, that might not be the best way to present it in a professional manner, but as far as fooling a heckler, I think it is. Because you want them to feel like they have the most control possible and that you didn't do anything. So the less moves I can do, the better. If that makes the presentation sluggish, and you'll see what I mean by sluggish in a moment, that's fine. Because the point of it is to make them look like a fool. It's not to do amazing magic or anything, right? It's still pretty decent magic, though. I'm not going to lie. It's not that bad. So, in an ideal world, this is what it would look like. And this is not the way I'm going to teach it, but this is the basic principles of what's happening here. So, I would have them spread. The spectator would see a card for demonstration purposes. Let's say it's the four of spades. Now, what I'm going to do is actually, I want the spectator to do everything, right? So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a peek here as I hand the deck out. So I already know the card, and then I square that up as I hand it to them. So I already know their card goes into their hand, and they can shuffle till their heart's content as much as they want. I already know it's the four of spades. So I'll show you guys that peek in a second here. But obviously now that they're shuffling, the card could be anywhere, right? So it could make for a labored presentation. Because what if the card's on the bottom or something? You have to deal every single card in the deck till you get to it, right? So that's the only problem with doing it this way. However, it's fine because, again, it's just one move and you got them. There's no way they can reconstruct what you did. So, but that's kind of the problem because you will have to deal every single card until you see their card. Four of spades, right? So I saw it. I'm going to keep dealing past it a little bit. And I'll say, look, I will make you a bet. The next card I turn over, that's going to be your card. And if they've already seen their card, and they know that this is not their card, so they can be, this can be very interesting and funny how this plays out. But basically, I kind of mime as if almost, not mime, but I kind of almost act like I'm going to turn this card over. And then as I come here and I go, and I just go back to the four of spades and turn that over. So that's basically the circus card trick. So that's not the way that I want to teach it, but that's basically what's happening, just to keep it easier for myself. So let's talk about the methods. So method one, so if you want to do the Heckler Buster route, I highly recommend that you have them select a card from a dribble. Reason for this is because you don't give them an option to screw around with you as much. Like, I love having a spectator just reach in and grab a card as I spread. And then I love to just spread through and just have them place it back, And you need to have a spectator that's on your side who trusts you in order to do that effectively. Although it does look a lot better. And in my opinion, it does seem more fair, but that's from a magician's perspective. So hecklers, though, like, this seems pretty random, and they say stop, and you stop whenever they want. And then you give them the option to change their mind like 3 times. Like, are you sure you don't want to go down a couple more, or you want to go back a couple? Like, I want you to absolutely be sure this is where you want to stop. You want to do it again? And then so you just have them say stop, be annoying about it. Okay? Now, give them the card. Okay? They'll peek it or whatever, and you say, look, let's place it back somewhere in the deck. Just say stop whenever you want. Are you sure you want to stop there? Blah, blah, blah. They place it back. Now, this seems kind of, why am I talking about this, right? Well, here's why. Because if you have them place the card back, like say what you spread or something, if they're a douche and they're being combative, they may just do something like this. They may just stick the card up here. Or they might stick the card in here and push it all the way in before you can do anything. And that would, there is ways to get out of that, but you don't want to get in that situation. So in my opinion, the best way to do this to deal with somebody who's not a good spectator would be to just dribble the cards and have them say stop. It's very hard for them to argue with you They got to say stop. They got to choose where to put it back. They got to choose when to pick it. So, and you can reinforce these ideas with them if you want to. It's not totally necessary, but this is what I'm going to recommend to do, because I think this is just the most solid overall way to do it. So you dribble, have them take the card, dribble, cards placed back in the middle. Now here's the one couple extra little move you have to do. So you have to get a break under this card. Okay, so as they place it back in the hand, what I usually do is the backbreaker move, which is just a get ready. So you bring your thumb down here, and you're going to pivot the card over off of the middle finger or even the ring finger, doesn't matter. Just pivot off of one of the fingers here. And just pivots like this. And you don't need to pivot it very much. It doesn't be like that. It's just a tiny little amount like that. And you just do that as you come and close up everything. Now I have a break under the card instead of above the card. Because the peek that we're going to do, you need to have the break above the card. Okay, so nothing too crazy. If you want, you can have them place the card back here, and then you can just have them place it back, and you can even just push it over like this as you close it up, and then get a break there as you close it up. Nothing too crazy, but whatever you need to do to get a break under that card, you can just very easily push it over like that, and then get a pinky break too. The classic get ready, but I like the backbreaker. So just go like that as you close it up. Now they're not really looking at your hand at that point. Okay, you'll be talking to them or saying something, right? So one more time, boom. They see the card, get a break under the card, close up. Now what you're going to do to do the peek is you're going to rotate your hand over, but you're going to create a step. So you have a pinky break right now. But what you're going to do is you're going to push inwards at the fingers like this. So push inwards just a little tiny bit, nothing crazy, just a little bit. You're only pushing over the top packet. And what you're going to do is you're going to create a small step. So right now the packets are kind of square. They're kind of they're like flush, right? But what you want to do is create a step. So you're going to push in a little bit with the pinky like that, and then let go of the break completely. Because as you turn your hand over now, you're going to keep pressure. And now you'll have a little step right where their card was, which would be the right there. Let's do a cleaner example. Okay, get a break under their card. Say it's the 7 of clubs. We're here. We have a big pinky break. As I turn my hand over, I get the peek here. Okay, so you can't see what's happening, but I can. See how easy that is to see? You get that little step, you get that peek here, and then you square it all up, as you hand it to them, so they don't see any discrepancy there. All right, not too crazy. It's just a simple, I think that's called the heel peek. I should probably have looked that up before I made this tutorial, but just bear with me. I'm pretty sure that's the heel peek. So let's say it's the 5 of hearts. You get a break below the card. It doesn't matter how you do that. Close up. Now we're going to create a step here as I turn the hand over. So boom, we're using the pinky I'm mostly using my pinky to push in here. Okay, see how, you don't show that. So keep pressure. That's why I say keep pressure here. With the thumb on the top packet. Or now this would be the bottom packet, right? Because you're turning your hand over. Keep pressure so everything is flush. But you'll see that peak right there. Okay, and this is to yourself. And then you square it up a bit here on the edges. Oh my gosh. As you hand it to them so they don't see that discrepancy, okay? That's the whole thing. That's the whole move. That's the only move you have to do. So it's beautiful, and it's pretty much impossible for them to reconstruct that. So, because you're going to treat it like, hey, look, you saw your card. Now look, I just want you to take it now. Take the deck, and you shuffle. I don't want to touch anything. Okay, so that's kind of the attitude, and it really throws them off, especially if you have these gestures like, oh, look, just take it, They're not really going to feel anything there, okay? And then basically at that point, you'll just deal the cards again until you see their card, okay? Once you see it, you just deal a few more past it, maybe 5 or 6 more. And you say, look, I bet you the next card to turn over is going to be your card. And you really act like you're going to turn this one over. I like to hold it like this, kind of in this weird, kind of a weird way, It's almost like building the suspense a little bit, and then boom, I put it back, and then I just go back and find whatever card it was, turn that over. All right, so that is the main way that I like to do it. And then let me show you one other presentation as well. So this one I don't really think is better or anything like that, but it does offer a little bit better presentation because you'll know how things are timed better, and you'll know exactly what to expect. Because you could have their card be on the bottom of the deck. You know what I mean? And that could ruin the effect, right? So to get around that, it's extremely rare, obviously, but it could happen. So to get around that, what you do is you'll do a control, but it wouldn't make sense for their card to be on top, right? So what we'll do is we'll add some cards on top and then control them. So have them pick a card. Let's say it's this. 3 diamonds. You're going to control the card to the top. And I recommend using just a regular shuffle control. Double undercut. I like Mahatma. Just do that. Mahatma, and then maybe a retention, like a slip shuffle or something, just to retain it on top. Boom, that's perfect. Now what I need to do is get a peek of that card. So I know there is a peek from the overhand shuffle from Mahatma you can do. I don't know it though, but I just do a bubble peek. So I know it's a 3 diamonds here. As I'm talking, I just do a bubble peek. Boom. Now I'm going to cut the cards a little bit more. So I'm going to, let's see here. I just want to add some more cards above. So I'm just going to do a deep cut like this, really deep, and then just do some swing cuts. Boom. So I still know it's the 3 diamonds or whatever, right? Now I just added a clump of cards on top, so it's not on the top, right? And the reason to do this is just so that you can ensure the card's not on the bottom or anything like that, or like the first card or whatever, right? So I don't like this. I prefer them to handle everything and me to not handle anything. So I don't recommend that you do it this way. I'm just showing it for presentational purposes. This does work better if you want to have like a really scripted and timed presentation. But this is a pretty simple trick. Don't think it's necessary. But anyway, at this point, now when you deal through the cards, their card will be closer to the top, so you can time your pattern a lot better. So if you had something scripted ahead of time, you can, this is your time for that to be doing your little spiel, and you'll have it timed really well, so you'll see their card and you'll just keep dealing, right? Okay, now the next card I turn over is going to be yours. So that's just a slight variation that you can try using the bubble peek, and I think there's a way to do it also from the Mahatma control. You can peek the card you control at the top. I mean, 100% you can, because it happens on accident all the time. Basically, when you do the Mahatma control here, you can get the peek of the card right here. Okay, so boom. As I turn my hand over, I'm peeking the card here. So I'm just pushing it up a little bit as I shuffle the cards off. So it's a really quick peek, and that would work as well. Or you can just do the bubble peek. Boom. I'm not going to teach those moves right now, but you can look them up yourself. I'm going to keep this tutorial short. So that's basically it, guys. Hopefully that will help, and it's, I don't know, I might do it sometime. I've never really performed it that much. I've performed it like a couple times at a bar or something, but I haven't done that in like 3 years. So, but I think it's better than like Chris Ramsey's version or something. You know, just do a peek, deal the cards, go past their card, do your spiel, and you'll do great. I think the heel peek is the most straightforward, elegant way to do it, because you don't have to do anything else. You don't have to shuffle. You don't have to do a pass. You don't have to do any of this shit. You don't have to do a double lift. You don't have to do any of that. So don't. If you don't have to, why would you? You know, it's for something this simple. Peek it, go through your spiel, profit.